All right, I've just bare rooted this tree, dropped it into a pot. It's currently 31 degrees outside in Sydney. This Port Jackson fig has gone from a 12-inch pot to a bonsai pot for the very first time. I just made a couple of big chops on the roots. I've wired him into the pot and I've got a rock sitting on the root base to balance it up because at the moment it's quite head heavy. Let's have a look at this thing. It's currently in a pot. You can see the original cut. Everything that you see on this has grown from the moment I took it from the wild. People call them Yamadori. I just got, tree taken from the wild. So what I might do is address this first. I'm just going to chop it down to size so we can actually see some structure, because at the moment it's just blocking it. I don't know if I'll remove this completely. I really don't know what's going to happen with this style, this design. It is really different, really, really random. I'll tidy up some of these cuts later on. So we've got this guy, he's just throwing out. You can see in here whether or not I lose those. I might get rid of this guy. Gone. Okay, we're starting to get there. Starting to see into the tree. Maybe I lose that altogether because they're too close. Doesn't serve any purpose. Okay, she's gone. Oh, he had a bit of root attached to him. I could plant that and that would grow really, really easily. But I'm not going to. I don't need to. So this has just been potted. So the roots haven't even bit into the gravel yet, to the dirt. Just tidy up some of these cuts a bit flush. Okay, let's have a bit of a look. This thing here, I just don't know whether I keep it. But one thing for sure, you don't want this growing back into the view of the trunk. I might change the front of the tree, but I don't know. So if I was to keep it, now we've got a bit of ramification. We've got a couple of little branches and leaf on top for the tip. So a tip should grow out of here, and I can always come along, just tidy it up a bit close to the tip once the tip throws a branch out. And I can train that. Okay, so we've got a back branch out here, or I could wire that this way, that way, back branch there. I'm going to get rid of that because it might create too much of a bulge in this area. This is too close to there. Get rid of it. So going off those two, I could actually put some wire on them. Train them in position. And then I've got this monstrosity of a leader. This thing grew into a monster. It's just phenomenal. Now, I might trim it in stages. I might just take the head off, but leave one branch on and have a look at what we're left with. Big cut. All right. What have we done? We've got a So potentially, I'll tidy that up. This will back bud anywhere along here. But the way I see it, I'd probably cut it down here. It'd probably be more in proportion. So really, in 12 months' time, all I've managed to do is grow a new leader, 2 branches, and something that's an undecided. This one, that might be getting chopped off. So I've got a rock wedged in the back just because of the lateral movement backwards and forwards, just to brace it slightly because it was so head heavy, and I've just flooded it with water. Yeah, I might consider putting a little bit of wire on there just for shits and giggles, and then reduce the height of the leader. I think the leader's way too tall, and if I want it to back bud down here, there's a tip there. If you can see that tip, that's the tip I'd target. This throws it out of proportion. I think this section's too straight. I've got this mad curve here, and what's buried below ground is also a curve coming this way, which I'll probably end up chopping off eventually. But yeah, this one's a bit of a challenge. I think it might take some time to get right. The reason why I took it in the first place was it had such movement in the trunk in the first place. So I'm not going to wire this all the way out. I'm just going to wire it just up enough because I know I'm going to cut this. Stick it through there, I reckon. And that's probably enough. Just get rid of the end of it. There we go. So this wire, bring it around to the side. And this wire, I'm just going to chuck it on this thing. I'm going to leave it loose because I know what's going to happen. This thing's going to swell up real quick. These things pump. We're in summer right now, and no sooner than you cut it, this thing will just start pumping. So it'll wire bite here first. So that's where I've got most of the tension to create the bend. I could possibly tip this as well. I think I'm going to take that bloody tall bit off. Where's that tip I liked? Ah, there you are there. So let's do a cut. All right. I'm wondering if you can actually see that tip at all. It's so small. But right on that leaf is a tip and a tip there. So it can bud out in multiple directions. But this thing, I'll get to come back this way a bit. Because it's got so much curve this way, I'll roll it back. I'll do a nice sweeping bend up. I could tip that as well. So it started throwing out another branch there, as you can see. The node distance is too much. I really don't like it. So what I would go for when I'm selecting, see this is the bottom, look at the sap coming out. That sap is phenomenal. This tree is just so rapid growing. What I'll do is I'm going to cut here because I do have a tip right there and right there. I'll take that. So those two tips and the one behind will probably throw branches. Now, what do you reckon about this guy? We'll give him a hit. Just take the tip off, only a couple of leaves, and just see what happens to this back branch. But there you go. I've just turned a small shrub into a dog's breakfast once again. But this is the start of the journey. You have to do these cuts to tell it not to keep growing up here, to grow here. Maybe it'll throw another branch here that I might select. It might come out there and I train that one to the rear, because you should have 3 dimensions. You should have, left, right, back, and some branching at the front, but you don't want anything sticking you in the eye. You can see the healing it's done in 12 months. So quite a rapid healer. There's another cut that was made 12 months ago. Don't know if you can quite see it because it's in a bucket, because it's dripping at the moment, because I've just I flooded this thing. I just put it in vermiculite, perlite, mixed with chook manure, and it smells like ammonia. It smells really, really good. Not that you'd eat it or anything, but the plants surely don't mind it at all. They love the stuff. So anyway, that's it for today. I did the roots repot and just chopped it. Stay tuned. We'll update it, this one, once we see some growth. I'll chuck it on a video and say this is what happened after that big dramatic cut. Right now I've got to get all this rubbish into the bin because there's bleeding sap everywhere. But I hope you liked the video. It was only a quickie. See you next time. Have fun. Bye.